All right, you guys, lesson 33, major rules of algebra and complex fractions. So this would be a major rule of algebra. You do not need to write it down because you already know it. And there's my mouse. Come here. Okay. The denominator and the numerator of an expression can be multiplied or divided by the same quantity except 0 without changing the value of the expression. So basically you can multiply anything by 1, right? So if you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, that's really multiplying by 1, and you're not changing the value of the expression. So this we already know, all right? So let's write this guy down. So complex fractions, you guys, they're just going to get one step harder. There are still some of you guys who are flipping the denominator or doing reciprocal that way. I want you guys to try doing it my way, which is to look at every single denominator. Okay, so I have 3 denominators here, and we want the common denominator. In other words, what would cancel all of them? So Dan, what is that? Right, so I'm actually going to multiply the top by ZP and the bottom by ZP, and I always put each one over 1 so that you can see sort of top and bottom because it's fractions within fractions, okay? It is very important that you add these parentheses, all right? If there is a plus sign, make sure you add parentheses because this is actually distributing here to here. So in your mind, you should cancel the p's, but don't actually do it because you might lose the p on the second part. So in your mind, you're going to cancel the p's, and what's left over? Mz when we multiply that, okay? Plus, okay, right here, these actually both cancel out, but I'm just going to do it in my head. But what's left over? Is plus 3. All right, so I got rid of the denominator in the numerator part of the fraction. So now in the bottom, in the denominator of this fraction, same thing, we can cancel here. Now this one you could actually cross stuff off because there's no plus sign, so we could just cancel these p's. What's left is SZ, and that's my answer. Okay? So we're just simplifying the fraction by multiplying the top and bottom by the common denominator. We're really multiplying by 1, so it's allowed. Okay, here's where it gets like a little more complicated. So write this one down. Y over A plus M plus S over M all over A over Y plus S. Okay, this counts as an entire term. So I always put parentheses. That's one whole term with the plus sign there. So my common denominator, I actually don't really have anything in common. I need this, I need this, and I need this. I need all 3 terms. So what am I going to multiply? I'm going to multiply by A plus M and Y plus S. And I like to put the single thing, the monomial, in the front there, so the M, all over 1. So I need all 3 denominators. And then same thing here, M, A plus M, Y plus S, all over 1. Okay. So because there's that plus sign in the numerator, we need a big set of parentheses because I'm actually distributing this craziness over here and over to here. All right. So if I multiply this to this, what's going to cancel? Okay, that A plus M. I'm going to go ahead and cross it off. Just know that it's still there when I distribute it to the second piece, okay? So anyways, it cancels there. So what is left over? We have the Y that's here, we have the M that's here, and the Y plus S. So I have a Y, an M, and a Y plus S. All right, now uncancel that in your mind because I'm going to multiply it to the second term. And there is a plus sign, so I'm going to write down my plus sign over here. And now this time the M is going to cancel, and I have an S. Don't lose this. We now have this back. Okay, I'm running out of room. Good thing I have a smart board. Look at me. Oh, I'm going to move that here. Okay, so S. Okay, M's canceled. We have A plus M and Y plus S. Madness. Okay, all over. All right, in the denominator, Ian, what cancels? The Y plus S and the Y plus S. And so, Jordan, what's left over? And lucky for you, you don't have to multiply it out. That would be a lot more steps. So that's it, all right? Just make sure you cancel the right things in your head if you can, and don't cancel things twice, okay? That's my answer. That's it. The thing. So this is weird, but they actually do factor out the common thing right here. Okay, so the y plus s is common in the top. That light is like in the way. Okay, I'll come down here. The y plus s is common. So what do I have left? We have this, and we have this. And this part, they put all in one set of parentheses. What's left over? Okay, so they factored out the y plus s, and then we have the ym here. And what's left here is this, and they, for some reason, distribute that out, so plus SA plus SM, and then it's all over the same thing that we just had, AM, A plus M. So you factor out the one common set of parentheses, and everything else goes in the rest of the set of parentheses.